I put it in the book in the late 90s, and the book, I think, has a publication date of 2000, which is not correct. I think that book was published in 97 or 98. But it was redone. So anyways, bottom line, it's old, man. It's old. It's like 25 years old, and I guarantee you I wasn't the first one to do it. I was maybe the first one to put it on in a book, but I doubt I was the first one to do it. But anyways, no matter where it came from, it's a great exercise, and we're going to bring it to you. It's the stability ball, hip, and ham exercise. And Gandhi's going to explain the mechanics, then he's going to explain the programming and the sequence. He's going to go through all where the knee goes, where the body goes, what muscles are being worked.
All the in and outs.
Right? And then we're going to talk about the programming, where to put it in the week, where to put it in the day, how to mix it, what classification of exercises it is. And then he's going to show you a little sequencing thing so you can transition to other progressions, right? So you want to get in position and kind of show them, stick figures, all right? Yeah, because you're at IHP, how can you be at IHP without stick figures, all right?
All right, so in this exercise, this is great for working on the hip flexor and also working on posterior core as well, and the glutes and the hamstrings. This is great for anyone who's working in the office, working at home. If you're an athlete, you need to open up your hips, you feel like you're very tight. This is a very excellent exercise, not difficult to do. You don't have to be in the gym, you just need a stability ball, right?
That's it.
So getting into the position is very easy. You're just gonna have your knee just behind the ball. You don't wanna be sitting, right on top of it. You want the ball of your back foot on the floor, okay? So getting into this position, you wanna make sure you kind of engage your core just a little bit, just so you're not arching your back to cheat any kind of motion here. So keeping the core engaged, and off the bat, as soon as you straighten up right, you're gonna feel a little pull from your abdominals down into your rectus femoris, just right, straight down here, straight line. From there, without anything else, just leaning forward, keeping that perfect posture. Just leaning forward, you're gonna start to feel a little pull in that lead leg, that hamstring. Try not to, as soon as you round your back, you lose it, because now we're just flexing your paraspinals, your spine, right? So you gotta make sure you're keeping that perfect posture the entire time. So getting into here, feeling that pull, and coming back up. You can have your hands on your hips, and if you want even more of a stretch, you can just reach your hands up into the air. Gonna be up in here. That opens up the anterior a little bit more. Then leaning forward, same motion.
Reach for the sky and tie your shoe. All right, now, when he says engage the core, what does, we talk about the drawing in maneuver, which is old school stuff that doesn't work. This is what we mean. Dr. Stu McGill called it bracing. All right, if you're going to get punched in the stomach, what do you do with your stomach? That's it. When he says engage the core, that's all we mean. All right, it's termed now bracing as opposed to hollowing or drawing in. Bracing is the most modern concept of core stability. All right, and remember, trailing leg, iliopsoas, and hip flexors. Now, some people, all right, will feel it here. That means that your rectus femoris is so tight you can't even get to your psoas. Some people, especially if they don't work out the quads, have very loose quads, and they can actually get to the hip flexors. So depending on what's tight in you is where you're going to feel it, but that's fine. All right, this posture is awesome to get you ready for the split stance press, split stance row, okay, for the Bulgarian, for traditional lunging. So this is an exercise that we call an adjunct, okay? It adds, okay, and it supplements certain things. And, of course, what do you see here? This undoes this position. Right? Short, short. Who? Look at this, long and long, especially when you reach. When you reach, that backside gets it. When you come up, the contralateral front, okay? So that's awesome. And How would you use this exercise in the programming?
So in our standard programming, what we would do in a typical 3-day setup, you're working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, weekend day, whatever your split is. Typically, your first day would be your leg day. Your second day would be your push, your third would be your pull. Just because we don't want to hammer at the legs in that first day, we would use it typically in our second and third day as the third exercise in that first triplex. It would be your range of motion, your rehab kind of exercise, just to kind of give your upper body a break from whatever work you're doing that day. So,
what else can they use it as? So basically, what he's telling you is, here, we'll give you a little bit of a diagram, right? 3 days, okay? You have your first triplex, second triplex, and third triplex, right here, right? This third exercise in the first triplex is a rehab. Since we're doing legs here, push, and this is pull. Since we're doing legs here, we leave the legs alone, so we're not doing that. I mean, it wouldn't even hurt to do that because it's such a mild exercise, but kind of general rule, we leave the legs alone. So it's a great exercise to stick here. So you would do an incline bench press, and then you would unload, let's say, a leg or unload a back, all right? And then you would put a lower body range of motion, augmenting supplemental exercise. Got it? We can also use it as a warm-up, okay? You can also use it as a cool-down. And you can use it as an unloading exercise, okay? What is an unloading exercise? Well, on these push and pull days, we're unloading the legs. See, on legs, we're unloading push and pull. On push, we're unloading legs and pull. And on pull days, we're unloading legs and push. Anytime we're going to unload the leg, guess what? That's an option. So if you want to stick it as a rehab, you can stick it in there as a rehab. If you want to do unloading the legs and put it in your second position here or your second position here, you can do that as well. All right? So now, leads us to an interesting thing here because it leads us to some sequencing, some progressions up and regressions down. So if I wanted to make this a little bit sexier, so let's say that I use the stretch here.
right.
But I want to unload the legs here or here, all right? And I want to use that stretch here, but I want to do another thing that comes from that stretch, but that's a little bit more active. What could we do, kind of choreographed?
So, like we discussed a little bit before, we just did, very easy, keep everything nice and tight, nothing too crazy going on, right? But to make it a little bit sexier, so what you can do coming out of this lower position, I kind of just bring the ball up with my leg all the way to the front here.
Oh, that's sexy.
Okay? That's pretty smooth. That's pretty smooth.
Now he's going to stand on that ball, going to use it as a step. Watch this. No,
In our
psych.
next video.